is Ask the Expert. Send us your questions for Brenda Hollingsworth. Live phone calls on the air, 789-6559, extension 2803. You can email ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. Facebook's a great spot too. CTV Ottawa Morning Live. Very happy this morning to be joined by O.J. Hollingsworth. Brenda Hollingsworth, good morning to you.
Good morning.
An absolutely beautiful day today. And what's funny is people, I think, assume that on a beautiful day, there are probably hardly any car accidents. That's actually, I know, not true, right?
Absolutely not true.
Okay. And then we also have to talk about the long weekend. We're heading into long weekends. Do you see an uptick in collisions on the long weekends?
Yeah, we definitely do. Every long weekend. If I were to plot the accidents on a calendar, I would see clusters around long weekends.
I wonder why that is.
More people traveling, for one thing. You know, you're going to visit grandma a couple hours away, so there are more people on the highways, more people in the city. People are tired, people are drinking, so there's all kinds of reasons why.
And I wonder about distractions, not just obviously your phone and things going on in the car, but kids in the back.
Yeah, just excitement.
Sight is, because you're packed up, sight is actually limited, things like that. And those are all things that would actually would affect you, I'm sure, when it comes to a civil action. And something I haven't talked to you about before, and I want to get to now. If you are on the road, traveling along on a long weekend or whenever, and you get in a collision, and the other person's impaired, how does that affect the civil action?
Yeah, impaired driving there are a few wrinkles when there's an impaired driver involved in your accident. Most of the time, from the victim's perspective, it's not going to make a big difference.
Okay.
You know, I have a number of cases. I have one case where I had to do the examination for discovery in one of the Kingston jails because the guy was in there for his impaired driving sentence.
Okay.
So generally speaking, it doesn't affect you, but there are times when it does. If the driver is under 21 or has a G1 or a G2 license, it can have huge implications because those people, as you may know, you may have missed the graduated license.
Just.
But they are not allowed to have a drop of alcohol, right? So if they have a glass of wine at dinner or a beer at some point during the Thanksgiving weekend and then they drive, they have potentially committed a policy violation, an insurance policy violation. And in those cases, a lot of insurance companies are not offering insurance.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So
it would actually affect the victim in a very negative way.
Very, very negative way. There are also, it's similar, there was a case a few years ago about stunt driving where two parents were taken out and they had little girls. Similar type of thing, the insurance can basically void the insurance.
So if I'm caught, I don't know what their rules would be, but if I'm caught in a collision and it's proven that I was, an exorbitant amount of speed over the limit, my insurance company could say, we actually don't cover you in that situation, and that's outlined in your policy.
That's right.
And so now I'm an uninsured driver?
That's right. Right. So for the purpose of that collision, yeah. Right. So there's it's complicated, and you would definitely want to get a lawyer because I certainly wouldn't say that there's no way around that or that there are no arguments or no recourse, but it is more complicated.
Okay.
So, don't drink and drive.
Now, what about, would you be looking at everything, like I said, distractions or limited sight because your car is overpacked? Would those things actually affect a civil suit if you got into a collision?
Yeah, one of the funny things about lawsuits as opposed to sort of the criminal side of it is once you're negligent, you're negligent. If you caused the accident, it is interesting to know why you caused it. If it was because your car was too packed or you had fuzzy dice that obstructed your view, whatever it is, it's interesting, but it doesn't actually matter that much.
Right.
Negligence is negligence, and once we get over that threshold, then we're really just dealing with the victim's injuries.
So this is where you get tips about being in a collision and making sure that you get a report out of it. Would that be...
Right. So, again, this past week, I was faced with somebody calling me, had an accident, kind of a unique accident in the west end of Ottawa, didn't call the police, and didn't get the other driver's information.
Yeah.
And, not the most serious injury you'll ever see, but something that you'd want to follow up on. So, always get the other driver's information. I say if you're injured, you always phone the police. That is what the law is.
Right.
I know the police are busy, and I know they don't love to come to what they think are minor traffic accidents, but at the scene, you do not know what your injuries are.
Okay.
72 hours later, you do, but not at the scene.
A couple more questions about that, and then we'll get into as well personal injury in grocery stores and different places like that.
Right.
Why grocery stores are such a spot for injuries. That's on the way with Ask the Expert. If you have a question for Brenda Hollingsworth, please call us, 789-6559, extension 2803, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca on email or Facebook, CTV Ottawa Morning Live. We're back with more in a second.